Thank you for being here. We are the last group, but at least, not the last, at the least one. We are going to present you our idea, which is FBT consulting. We are the group that stuck to our idea, even though it wasn't possible to do it, as Professor Beckenheimer said with the record, because we have observed a problem that needed to be solved. So we are going to, or we will try to solve it. So the problem was, even though emerging market can be very rich or very rich of resources, they are constituted post for profit because companies don't know how to tailor their activity to the local taste. So we want to be an agency that will be the intermediary or the middle person to those companies. So how we are going to solve this problem? We try to inventory our means by using the effectual approach. So that's what that's our team members. So we have Hugo, Atlas, Monia, and Anna, and we have low degrees. We have communication, marketing, economics degrees, and we have also we are French, Chinese, and Slovene speaker, and we have also a network in Africa. Our solution was to provide visa and intermediary service to companies, and with this course we had to confront our idea to the market in order to know if we are going effectively to solve a problem. So what we have learned is the visa application service is needed, although the intermediary service is not that needed because in Benin and Togo there is no need for intermediary because there is a one-stop office that has been created by the Beninese and Togolese states, but there are needs that need to be solved. So we have adapted our business model, and we are going to propose those services. And that's it.
Okay. So for doing the research paper, there was also. Well, let's go first to if everyone knows where the countries that we are working on are. This is Western Africa, and you have Togo and Benin here. So it would be embarrassing not to know. So I didn't, my mom also didn't, but now we do. So for the research paper, we wanted to concentrate on seeing how the US is cooperating or exchanging with these two countries and what more can be done in terms of more businesses working there, implementing them, and what we can learn. So we learned about the trade with the US, which exists. It's quite small, but is on the increase, and there are more agreements being made between the US and the two countries. There is a bilateral trade agreement between Benin and the US, which can help for exportation of product duty-free. There are also different projects and initiatives that are being done in the cooperation with the US for reducing poverty, to helping the countries to develop themselves more faster. And there's an interesting thing about Benin, maybe I can notice back here. It's very strategically positioned. The neighboring countries have 200 million potential customers, which is very interesting for the US because they can go through the port, Porto Novo, the capital, and this is a big underutilized resource. Yes. So there is foreign direct investment, which is currently done in both countries, but there is more that needs to be done, and Benin is very much encouraging this in the following sectors in order to improve and to have more business.
Okay. Let's talk about targets. Frankly speaking, our service is about the visa application, but our customer is Huawei in Africa. Our service in Africa, so it has nothing to do with the New York, but our research have to do something with New York. Then I have found something to know the market. After some research, I know that used clothes and health drivers domestic products are very popular in the Togos. And I found that over 100 used clothes shops in New York, most of them export the clothes to India. Maybe we can advise them to export the clothes to the Togo directly. That would save them some logistical costs and customs fees. But frankly speaking, this market is not so much else. This service can be launched in China much easier and economical, so I don't recommend this service. Okay, let's come to the resources.
Okay, so we can say in New York we have a lot of resources available to work on this project. First of all, we've been to the consulates of Togo and Benin. We've been to the United Nations and United Nations Development Program. But also we've used some online websites, such as Africa Institute or the AEDI. It was very useful for us. Also the news, the media, so BBC. You got BBC, New York Times, not a lot of information about our project, but was kind of very helpful. And then in terms of issues and stuff, we can look for the US Africa Leader Summit. There were a lot of leader summits. And also talking to people, like talking to entrepreneurs. We met in the incubator, thanks to Professor Backenheimer. We've been to the Brooklyn Vineyard and Industry Park. So over there we met some entrepreneurs who will help us to find solution for this project. So we'll move to the next slide.
So we are going to show you our video.
So we kind of expand on those researches that were done by colleagues. Can you give it a break a second? Thank you. And we tried to expand a little bit what was the relationship between those countries and the US. And we got the chance to talk to this person, which I hardly pronounce the name, but it will be written. But he's here and he works for the UN as a representative for Togo. And he gave us like very good insight about the situation. So this is us at the embassy, then the permanent mission of the United Nations, going to the UN. Getting to talk to this person that you will see later.
Earlier on we were talking about...
so that's his name. Now you understand maybe why I hardly pronounce it. So here's a few questions you ask
your
him.
point of view on the situation with Togo and the United States. And you mentioned this very interesting initiative that was launched recently. Could you repeat that for us and extend a little bit on this interesting recent summit?
Okay, thank you for this question. I can say that Togo, the relationship with Togo and United States is going very well. And recently, Togo had the honor to host a forum of American growth and of West African growth and opportunity acts.
So there was an agreement that was done in the early 21st century, 2000. So as you could see with George W. Bush, and it was extended a bit 7 years ago in 2010. So it's an agreement between all African countries, economic agreement, and the idea is to reduce the taxes on every African products and goods that will be imported in the US. And this year, 2017, it was hosted by Togo. So it kind of shows like the growing importance of Togo in this area and also in the relationship with the US.
Who is a law
Speed it up.
signed by the President Bill Clinton
Pensez-vous qu'on pourrait
So obviously he's from Togo, so it's a French-speaking country. So we had to do, we got a bit deeper in a question and we asked for what was the foreign investment and the American investment in Togo, how it is going. It's a bit of a deeper conversation, so we switched to French, but I tried to put some subtitles in there.
Bon, effectivement, comme je l'avais dit par exemple, il y a un travail qui incombe à l'État. C'est-à-dire de créer le cadre et l'État pourrait en train de le faire de son mieux pour arranger cela. Mais les autres, c'est-à-dire les partenaires privés et la diaspora togolaise, nous leur demandons de vendre le Togo aux Américains. Puisque nous avons constaté que
So there's a lot of promotion played by the people living outside of Togo. And what is interesting, and is coming just after this, but we don't have so much time, is that he explains that actually, in order to brand more Togo, they will actually settle in the next year an economical forum about Togo in the US and probably in New York City.
So when I applied to this program, I really wanted to. My goal was to contribute to the development. This has driven my academical and professional path. So I really enjoy this program because I founded the project I want to develop because it deserved to be developed. This problem needed to be addressed. So yeah, I'm really glad to be part of this program, to have all met you, to have shared those experiences with all of you. So thank you.
Okay. I would just mention two things that happened for me in New York that was very interesting. There's this conference called the French Touch Conference. The idea comes from linking New York and Paris. It's happening in June. And they came up with this idea of taking some people in the plane from Paris, investors and startups, and make them pitch, get them 7 hours so they will be able to take time to listen to entrepreneurs, and finally do this summit in New York. I was great speaker out there. You could see from Gabriel, from president of Manhattan Borough, deputy mayor of New York City, executive at Capgemini, the French Secretary of State for Digital, and also us being at this summit. And it should be another slide, but however, I got to get involved also in a very interesting class. Thank you for Pace for that, and the administrator. It was social entrepreneurship. As soon as I got in this class, I realized this is really something that appeals to me. And so you would not be surprised that the next step for me would be to work in a non-profit accelerator based in France, but I work with the US and Shanghai. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I've put 3 questions to summarize this year, like how entrepreneurship fits my personality from what we learn, how to develop my knowledge inside the program, outside the program, and how to use what we learn. Let's say what's next. So first, I guess that to develop my knowledge, as we heard a lot this year, was to talk to people, meet new people, and share. I met an entrepreneur, Sébastien Mounier, told me you can't work if you don't have any network. So networking is working. That was very interesting for me because I thought at this time that I had to meet new people. That's what we did. We met a lot of professors and professional people from Zhejiang, Yamyo, and at Pace. So I guess that this year was very, very interesting for us because we learned a lot. We learned about what is being an entrepreneur, so like taking a risk, patience, motivation, and never giving up. So once you got your idea, you must follow up and go on. And this is what I learned the most this year thanks to this program, like knowing the markets and knowing how to implement projects.
Hello, how are you? I'm fine. Start with a joke as I figure you're all tired. So the three things I learned this year. One would be innovations don't have to be big. I used to think it needs to be a really big thing to have a huge impact, but it can be just a really fun advertisement and you will go again to the shop, get another smoothie. Or just put the water in a box. Make it look good and better for the environment. The next thing was to take care of yourself. We're here in a group and fortunately we don't have to do everything by ourselves. But I read on a really interesting site, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, that what you need to do is you need to have really strong inner psychology if you want to be an entrepreneur. I think all entrepreneurs know that. And first you need to take care of yourself if you want to help others or others to help you. So I must say I really appreciated when people did help me, especially in China, which would not have been the same experience without all our Chinese classmates. They just made the time of my life, actually. And so the last thing is don't get overwhelmed again. Start small and then be consistent, just get things done. There's an interesting personal speaker that I follow, Mel Robbins, maybe you've heard of her. So she uses a 5-second rule, just count from 5 to 1. It's like a rocket launch, and then don't ask yourself things, just do the thing. I use it when I want to go to the gym. Thank you.
And the last one. But frankly, I learned a lot from this program. But the most important thing is about the 3P or 4P series. About 3P series, we have the people to take care. We have to get some profit, and we have to do some good to the environment. But most important one is not that. It's a partnership from the living young. I got this lesson from this young women. And other PP is a partnership. And with a partnership, you can know the cost strategy. For example, vegetable to sell. Vegetable for sale is called, you cannot get enough profit, but vegetable to decorate the garden, you will get a lot of profit. And co-work with NGO and other government, maybe you can know down your cost. For example, if you take about the used clothes business into two goals, then we would like to provide some warehouse free of charge. And the last one is to solidify your invisible values. That is the idea I have told before. And thank you all.